Hey up, it's Stephen, old Yorkshire geek, and welcome to this extra episode of Friday Night Appointment with Fear on the Saturday, live. And we're doing a brand new, super duper brand new film. I thought it was made in 2022, but it's brand new out now. Started streaming on Max in the United States on the 3rd of, I think it's November then, 3rd of October. It's been released theatrically internationally. In the UK and other places from the 10th and 11th of October. But I suppose if you've got a VPN, you can watch it that way, or there are other ways to see it. Anyway, so I'm going to be reviewing this. Windgrace says I thought this was supposed to be a series for some reason. No, it's a film. It's a film, and it's an okay film, but it's not a great Salem's Lot film. Let's put it that way. It's not as good as the 79 version, the mini-series. And I presume it's not as good as the... was it 2000? I can't remember. The one with... I forgot his name. The new one they did, with Rutger Hauer. Anyway, and I found my book, my Salem's Lot book. Which I've read once many years ago, I think just after, the Tobe Hooper thing came out. So I don't remember much about it. I've been flicking through it. I've noticed there's a page missing. It falls open at, where is it? Page, there we go. 206 and page 207 and 208 are missing. So I wonder where they are, or that is. There's probably some vital information for that, on that one page. Anyway. Right, so a bit of info about this film. As I said, it was finished in 2022. It says at the end of the film, they said the dates on it. It says 2022 at the end of the film, but it's just been released now. It's been sat on a shelf. Written and directed by Gary Doberman, who's written a lot of recent horror films. This is his second directorial film. His other film he's directed is Annabelle Comes Home. Can't remember if I saw it. I've seen it, but I can't remember what it was like. I think I quite enjoyed it, to be honest, if I'm remembering rightly, but I can't remember. And he wrote like the other Annabelle films, and It and It Chapter 2, and The Nun, and The Nun 2, and the Until Dawn. Is there going to be an Until Dawn film? I didn't know that. But he's the writer for that as well, but he's not directing it. What else has he done? In TV, he's done Swamp Devil, Swamp Thing, and other stuff. So there we go. And it stars people I've never heard of, like Lewis Pullman and Mackenzie Lee and John Benjamin Hickey and Bill Camp and people like that. But it's got people I do know, like Alfred Woodard, Spencer Treat Clark, and William Sadler, and Pilo Asbeck. Probably mispronouncing that. But anyway, so we'll get into the film. I don't know what the budget was, by the way. I don't know. I can't imagine it was massive. But we will see. We've been a horror film. I imagine it's, I don't know, 20 million tops. I don't know. I've tried to find out. But there's nothing online about it. Salem 31. I don't know. That's another reference that's gone over my head. Anyway, let's make sure we are still going. But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. As I said, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Rumble, and we're live on Twitch, yes. If you want to join in the chat, you've got to be a member, because I've got to do that, because trolls, or I think it might be just one specific troll keeps disrupting the chat if I don't do this. If he joins and pays me money, he can troll as much as he bloody wants and call me everything he wants to call me. But anyway, William Sadler. Oh, aye, Section 31. Yes, of course. Yes, William Sadler. Yes, he plays Sloan on Deep Space Nine, doesn't he? Yes, Section 31. Tell you. I'm sure I am. I'm sure I'm autistic. I'm sure I am. I can't think laterally. That's probably where Aidan gets it from, my son. Anyway, right, so we're going with the film. Obviously, I'm not going to watch the film because it's brand new out, but I'm going to be going through it and reviewing it as I go. It's not the best film ever, but it's not terrible. Not terrible. So anyway, so off we go. I make myself titchy tiny. We'll do that, and then down we go in the corner, and I'm sure I forgot something. My merch. Hang on, before we do that, merch. There we go. There's me Friday Night Pump with a t-shirt that you can get with blood, and I don't know if you can see, there's a vampire lady. Not really showing up. There she is. There you go. You can see a vampire lady behind. Links in the description. As links for me Patreon, and as I said, become a member. Throw super chats my way or super thanks, stuff like that. Because StreamYards are putting the prices up. Been a bit of a hoo-ha about it, I've noticed recently, because it's a big jump in price, in the price point for the lowest tier of their service. But anyway, and Adrian James is here saying, "Good evening, sir," because he's super polite. Right, so off we go. Where am I? There we go. Add it to the screen. So, I forgot to mute it. Right, off we go. Here it is, a New Line film. So, I noticed in the New Line logo, I just noticed this now. Right, so we get, what do all these do? There we go. We see all these ladders, I'll call them. Supposed to be the edge of a film, isn't it? Sprockets. But they only need 2, so where do the others go? Look, they all just disappeared into the light. Anyway, that's by the by. Now we begin. We've got an opening credit sequence. We don't see a lot of those these days, do we? But we've got one. An opening titles. Here we go. Atomic Monster. By the way, Atomic Monster. It's James Wan in it, so he's one of the producers. Is James Wan, or is it James Wan? Whatever. So anyway, we're getting little clues from the book, and it's more based on the 79 miniseries rather than the book. I think. As I said, it's been a long time since I've read this book, so I can't remember much about it. But there's shipping receipts. I think when it shows a close-up, is it going to show it? Hang on. There we go. There we go. Customs House Wharf. That's where they're to pick up the crate, that was supposed to be a sideboard, a Hepplewhite, in the 79 version. But you don't see them doing that in this. They fly through the story. It's under 2 hours is this film, and they kind of fly through the story and skim through it. Anyway, there we go. And then we start seeing blood going across a map for reasons, because it's about vampires. Anyway, so off we go. Mysterious disappearances on cargo ship from London. Oh, right. You know what? I'd never noticed that before. I won't pay much attention. So this is kind of doing a bit of it's the Demeter, isn't it? So obviously Mr. Barlow's been up to no good on his way over from that London. Anyway, there we go. We see it arriving at Portland. By the way, it was filmed in Massachusetts. Well, this film. So there we go. I'll tell you where in a minute. Ipswich, Stowe, Boston, and the Devons, Clinton, all over Massachusetts, Westford, and that's it. So there we go. But filmed in various places in Massachusetts, and not a BG in sight. And then we see there, Jerusalem's Lot, a.k.a. Salem's Lot, with a little hyphen at the beginning. Because it's an abbreviation. Not a hyphen, a quote, what do they call it? Apostrophe, that's the word I'm thinking of. Is this the one with David Solin? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, this is the new one that we're reviewing. But I did do that a while ago. I meant to get a link for it. I'll do it now. Hang on. We did do that one ages ago. And I meant to reference it, to plug my own channel. So I'll do it now. Thanks for reminding me, Adrian. Live. I'd be best to go into my podcasts and view full podcast, and it's here somewhere. Because it were quite a while. It were an early one, I think, that we did. I think. Could be wrong. Where are you, Salem's Lot? Come on, where are you? When did I do Salem's Lot? There it is. It was Friday. Right, appointment for you, number 27. So we'll go there. So I'll show you. There it is. There's Friday night. Appointment for you, number 27, Salem's Lot. I love that. I love the Salem's Lot, the 79 version. It's really good. But anyway, there it is. I'll put the link. I will copy the link and put it in the chat, and I'll try and remember and put it in the whatchamacallit, description as well. Is this going to work? We'll see. We'll see. There it is. So I don't know if it'll work, but oh, it has. I didn't think it would. Anyway, right. So where were we? There we've seen a map of Salem's Lot. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Silent Hill, doesn't it? You got a map in Silent Hill with that, with little X's on, showing you where you're to go. Probably inspired by it. There were infamous Marston House sold. So there we go. We all know about the Marston House. There's the deed. Bangor Land Corp to Kurt Barlow and R.T. Straker. So that's their deed for buying the Marston House. All very old-fashioned. By the way, this film's set in 1975, by the way. Forgot to mention. Oh, and there's the Larry Crockett's business card there. Right, so anyway, we'll get there in the end. New owners of Marston House open antique store. This is obviously a clipping from the local paper. Having recently acquired the Marston House, the new owners, Kurt Barlow and R.T. Straker, will be opening an antique store in the centre of town on Jointner Avenue called Barlow and Straker, taking the place of the former something or other. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, yeah, so very good, very interesting. Oops. There we go. Anyway, we'll get into the film in a minute. Off we go. We'll skip past this. Right. And there we go. Salem's Lot. Oh, I noticed they haven't got the little apostrophe there, have they? But they've got it in all the marketing. And they've got it on the book cover. Hang on, where's that? Got it on the book cover. Not you can see it. There you go. There you go. Got it on the book cover. But not on the film's bloody title. Unbelievable. Or does it appear? Does it appear as we're watching? Does it? Heck? No. Right, so we begin in the Barlow and Straker Antiques, Fine Furnishings Antique Store. And at first, I thought it was set in the past. I thought, oh, they're doing something new. Oh, I forgot to get rid of that, didn't I? Sorry. I thought they'd done something new, but then I looked out the window, saw a car, and you see a car drive by. And honestly, I thought it was like, you know, in the 1800s, you know, with all this stuff, and the way they're dressed and speaking. But no, it's not. Because I thought, are they going to do a thing where we see Straker and Barlow? Because I was thinking, is Straker somehow, because of his part vampire, is the vampire's family, is he like hundreds of years old, like the vampire? But no, they're not. They're not. This is where he's telling him to go and get the... See, they're skipping loads of stuff. He's telling him to go and pick up the crate from the wharf. So this is Royal Snow. It's not... Oh, I forgot what in the original. In the original in the 79 version. Sawyer. He was married to Bonnie Sawyer, wasn't he? And he was Cullen Sawyer. It was Cullen Sawyer who owned the truck, didn't he? In the 79 version, and then he gave the job to Mike Ryerson and Ned Tebbets to go and collect it, because he were going to go off. Because Bonnie Sawyer were having an affair with Larry Crockett. That's not happening in this, but we do see Bonnie Sawyer. Anyway, so that is telling him all about to take it up to the house. They would deliver it to my new home. It says it's up there on the hill. It's all very dramatic. This is I forgot his name now. Pilo Asbeck. It's very dramatic, and sometimes he's like, I think he's doing an impression of Tom Waits from the '92 Dracula, the Coppola Dracula. Sometimes, because it's all like Master. Anyway, so there we go. Everybody knows about the Marston House, says Royal Snow. Anyway, so tell him, deliver it to the Marston House, put it in the cellar, blah, blah, blah. And then bang, we cut We don't see him collecting it. There's none of the crate moving forward in the back of the truck and all like that. It's not even in the truck. It's just in a big van that they're taking it up anyway. So it's Royal Snow and Mike Ryerson. There he is. What's his face? I forgot his name already. Spencer Treat Williams. Who we've seen in various. He was in Gladiator. He was the kid in Gladiator, wasn't he? And other things. I mean, Last House on the Left remake. We were in that. And we'll be learning about Hubie Marston shot his wife and all that stuff. The house has a troubled history. It's anyway. So they're gonna take the. There was looking in. Take the crate, the sideboard, into the cellar. So here we go. So there we go, carrying it down. What's that there? Don't know. And he drops it, and they see that there's earth. They were losing me grip. I think is that Spencer Treat? Or is that somebody else? I don't know now. I'm wondering now. Yeah, I think it is. Yes, I think it is. But he's got a beard. We ain't got a beard later on. So maybe it's not, unless he's shaved, it might not be him actually. I don't know. It could be somebody else. I don't think it is him actually, is it? Oh, Hank. It's Hank. Right, who plays Hank? Right, let's have a look. Hank. Hank Peters, played by Mike Kaz. There we go. I thought it was Spencer Treat, whatever the bloody hell he's called. Anyway, they drop it and they see that there's dirt in it. There we go. It's packed with dirt. And they who packs a sideboard with dirt? I think, well, I don't want to know. Just get it back in the back of the cellar. Then he puts it down. They're going out, and then he hears a voice saying, "Royal, come closer," and stuff like that. There you go. So he kind of gets hypnotised. It's Mr. Barlow in there, trying to get him to come to the coffin. But Hank calls at him. Oh, there you go. You see his eyes turn white. Look, scary. I don't think that's in the book. But then Hank goes, "Let's get the F out of here." So, do what one shepherd said to the other shepherd. Let's get the flock out of here. That's a Lethal Weapon joke. So off they go, and I think we're going to get we get his first glimpse of Mr. Barlow in this, and they've gone for the not like he's in the book. There goes first glimpse of him. He's played by, I can't remember. I'm hopeless, I know. Alexander Ward, who's played monsters in films. He played a demon in one of the Annabelle films, but I can't remember which one. It might have been Annabelle Creation, whatever. Oh, it might have been Annabelle Comes Home, I can't remember. But anyway, he's played the demon in one of those films. So he's one of those actors that plays monsters. But they've gone for the Nosferatu type. So anyway, there he is. Oh, for God's sake, stop doing that, Steve. So it's not like he is in the book, because in the book he's a bit like Dracula, isn't he? In the book, he's got slick black hair and stuff like that, and it doesn't look like Rutger Hauer either. But he's got long fingers and stuff, hasn't he? And he's very talkative. Anyway, right, so we're going to go through Salem's Lot now. We're in the radio. There we go. It's September 23rd, 1975. First day of fall, the autumn equinox. What we're looking at there? I don't know. It's a map. Cumberland. Is that Salem? Is that Jerusalem's Lot? He's put a ring round it. We're in Ben Mears' car. There he is. There's Ben Mears. Lewis Pullman is Ben Mears. There's no David Soul, is he? Anyway, he's looking up at the Marston house. Is it going to show us? There he is. Looking up at the Marston house. And he gets... somebody knocks on his window and make him jump, and it's... Parkins Gillespie, Constable Parkins Gillespie, asking him what he's doing, and he says, "No, I'm I used to live here, so I'm back sightseeing," and so he says, wishes him well and all that stuff. So there we go. You take care now. Oh, we see his books as well in the back of the car. There they are. Look at books in the back of the car. Says, "You some kind of author?" There we go. Mia's air dance. Mostly hot air, so he's not that good of a writer. Bit like me. That's a lot like me. Anyway, so he's going to go into town now, and I think we're going to see Christine in a minute. We get like a bit of a montage of town. There we go. Jerusalem's Lot, but somebody's rubbed out the Jeru bit. Established 1710, population 1,282. Who keeps up with this sign? You don't see them in the UK, signs with a town with a population, because it's always fluctuating, isn't it? But anyway, whatever. They must change it, but every time they do a census, they must update the sign. So we've seen various shots of the town. It's very nice, very green, very rural. There's the sign for the drive-in. That's an important place for this story. I'm not. Did we have a? I don't think there was a drive-in in the book. I'm not sure. There might be. I don't know. I can't really remember. But not one as important, I don't think, as the drive-in is in this. We didn't see a drive-in in the 79 version either, did we? But they did mention the movies. They were going to go to the movies in Bangor, weren't they? But they never went. They went to the lake instead, didn't they? Did Ben and Susan, who we're going to meet shortly. Right, anyway, I think we're going to see Christine in a minute as he's driving through town. Apparently it's supposed to be, Plymouth, Plymouth Fury or whatever. We see, there we go. In the garage, there we go, in the back of the garage, there we go. A red Plymouth Fury. Christine. Anyway, so here we go. We're seeing the town, and we're seeing people doing their. I'm guessing this is supposed to be like a Stephen King homage, because in his books, particularly in this book as well, he generally tells us everything. He tells us everything about everybody in the book, doesn't he? You learn everything about them, which is why I get a bit fed up with Stephen King books sometimes, because I'm thinking I don't want to know this. But we've got to know everybody. So we see in the various parts of town. Wingris says it's all connected. Apparently it is. Actually, sort of is, isn't it? Because apparently I didn't know this until I read the. I think it's trivia somewhere that Father Callahan, who's in this, pops up in the Dark Tower. I've not read the Dark Tower. It pops up in that apparently. When does Cujo run through? You never know. Look out. See if there's a St. Bernard. You might. You never know. There might be one that I've just not noticed. Anyway, I'll just see one now. I'll just land on the St. Bernard. Sorry, St. Bernard. Anyway, there he's heading for the real estate. And then he parks up there. Could he park any further away from the curb? Bloody hell. I think the Dark Tower established a King multiverse. Yes, it seemed to, didn't it? Yes, I've heard of other characters from his other stories popped up in Dark Tower, don't they? Anyway, here he is parking up, miles from the curb. Tell you, should get a ticket. So he's going over. This is where we meet Susan Norton, right? So it's not Boom Boom Bonnie in this one. She's Susan Norton. I can't remember in the book what she does. Who Susan Norton is, I don't know. But in the 79 version, she was the daughter of the local doctor. She was also a teacher at the school, wasn't she? But in this, she's a secretary for Larry Crockett and not having an affair with him. But she's also reading his book. I think it's Air Dance by Ben Mears. Because he comes in, says hello, and she says, you look familiar. And then he says, oh, how's the book? And she says, I'm at the point where the reader decides whether or not to finish it. And he goes, okay. And then she just puts it down and doesn't realise it's him. Anyway, he's asking for a place to rent. He says, what do you want to come here for? And then Larry Crockett arrives. Tells her to get some coffee on, because that's what women do in the 70s. They get coffee made and they do sandwiches. Wingate Grace prefers Sutter Cane. At the mouth of... Oh, is it In the Mouth of Madness? I think In the Mouth of Madness, isn't it? John Carpenter film. And it's all right. It's all right. I don't mind it. Anyway, so he's trying to sell him a house or a property. He says he just wants to rent, so he's going to try and sell him somewhere. He asks about the Marston house, and he says, we're empty for 40 years, and suddenly this European chap who dresses in fancy suits has bought it. So then he tries to sell him somewhere else, and then Susan just says, Eva Miller's renting rooms. So, anyway... That's where we learned that he grew up there until he was 9. His parents were killed in a car accident. You can't say that now. No, doesn't spack. Can you say that? You could in 75. So, anyway, there she goes. She's over on Railroad Street is Eva Miller. She don't look anything like the Eva Miller in the 79 version. They don't say she wore quite a dish, because I don't think this Eva Miller was. Anyway, that's Mackenzie Lee. I mean, she's easy on the eye, I suppose, but I don't think she's the best actress in the world. Maybe it's just the direction, I don't know. Maybe Gary Doberman's not the best director, because there's some acting in this film that's not the best. But with some actors, you believe you believe in their characters, don't you? Like when you see William Sadler and Alfred Woodard, you kind of believe that they're the character. But when I see her, and to a lesser degree, the fellow that's playing Ben Mears, I'm just seeing an actor. I think they're acting. But anyway, better actors than me. But anyway. So, and then that's when she realises she's just met Ben Mears, and she goes, "Oh, that went great, Susan." That's another case of when I saw that doing this, when she says that, I think she's acting. Anyway, and then we see Gary Doberman's trying to do his arty-farty transition shots. There we see Larry Crockett's logo. So did he decide that this logo were going to be the transition into a flight of stairs? Like that. Or was it just a coincidence? I don't know. But anyway. So we're at Eva Miller's, and she even mentions Weasel. She says Weasel will fix something, I don't know. And he says, don't bet on it. And that's all we see of Weasel. Tell you. So, there she is. There's Eva. I say not much. Not the Eva Miller from the '79 version. But anyway. And there she says breakfast. I think she says breakfast is at 7. I think she says. There you go. So he's getting his meals as well. Breakfast at 7. Dinner's at 6. And no guests. Remember that. No, not Weasel from Deadpool. Is he called Weasel Phillips, wasn't he, in the '79 version? What's he called in this? It's there for one scene. At the end, I don't know if he's even got a credit. No, he hasn't. But he does have a line, so he should have a credit. Surely. No, can't see it. Can't see a Weasel Phillips. And they were great in the '79 version. Anyway. Whatever. No, not there. Not on IMDb anyway. Right, where were we? So he's got his room, and she says, "Oh, are you a writer?" And she says, "Yeah, are you a writer or something?" He says, "Yes." So she says, I'll take the money in advance, payment in advance, because writers never earn anything. Or something, anyway. Right. The next day. By the way, later on in the film, because we all know the story of Salem's Lot, eventually the whole town, it seems, is turned into a vampire. And I was watching it, I was thinking, apart from the last to go, it seems, were the paper boy, the postman, and the milkman, because everybody's got loads of post, and loads of milk, and loads of newspapers, so they were the last to go. Anyway, there we see a paper boy. Just throwing the newspapers, lazy little bastard. Sorry, I hate it. It gets me dead mad. I know it's a thing in America where they just throw the newspapers. I know it's a thing. It's part of your culture. Put it in a bloody letterbox. It gets me dead mad. Anyway, there's the milkman, look. Is it 1975? Is it bloody 1930? Look at that truck. Anyway, whatever. There's the school. Right, this is where we're going to meet Mark Petrie and the Glick boys. Mark's doing one of his escapology things. That's something they've kept over. I can't actually remember if it were in the book. Maybe it was. They were into tricks and horror and stuff like that. But they're tying him up. There we go. That's Danny Glick, and his younger brother's Ralphie. There's Ralphie Glick. And that's Mark Petrie. So anyway, but then the school bully arrives. Here he is, this kid with a lighter that he's flicking. I forgot his name. They can't put it in the box because those are owned by the post office unless you get your own newspaper box, which some people have. That makes no sense whatsoever. Chuffy now. Sort yourselves out, America. Get letterboxes in your doors, for Christ's sake. Anyway. Where were we? Oh, right, the bully. The bully's arriving. So here he goes. He just walks up to Mark and just punches him in the face. Hang on, skip. There we go. Punches him in the face just for no reason because he's a bully. Just punches him. And they all expect him to stay down. They untie him, by the way. He walks off because he's just a bully. And he gets up and he's going to stand up to him. And he goes to punch him again, and Mark knocks him down and there we go, holds his arm behind his back and says, "Say uncle." And he says, "I'll break it unless you say uncle." So he stood up to the bully. This is where we see Matt Burke, not Jason Burke, but Jason Burke in the 79 version. In here, in this one is Matt Burke. I think it was Matthew Burke in the book. I think. I don't actually know. Let's have a look. I think it was. See if we can see. Marjorie Glick. Come on, Matthew. Let's just find him on a random page. God, this bloody writing's small. Didn't used to be. When you get old, you'll know. I think I need some jam jar glasses. Oh, I don't bloody know. I think he's Matthew Burke in the book. Anyway, so we're going to meet him. He's looks out of his window. There he is. That's Matthew Burke. I think is it Bill Camp that plays him. I think. Yes, Bill Camp. Who's been in some stuff I've seen and I can't remember what. He was in Joker, the first Joker film. He was in that and other stuff. Right. Where were we? So he looks out and he sees them kids fighting. He looks in that direction. He sees the teachers not paying any attention. By the way, lots of smoking goes on in this because it's 1975. And he thinks, well, back into the breach, so he's got to go and deal with them. There you go. And the kid, I think it's Richie Robbins or something like that. Something like that. I don't know, I can bloody check out. I've got the bloody IMDb here. Where are we? Oh, Richie Bodin. That's it, Richie Bodin. He says uncle, and then he says, now I say I'm a big stinky poo face, or whatever. But Mr. Burke drags them apart and says, tell us who started it, and Richie just goes off saying, you better watch your back, and then, so anyway, so then the Glick boys offer to walk him home in case Richie has any ideas, and Mr. Burke says Richie never has any ideas, so anyway. So, and then he says, you, Mr. Petrie, if somebody says uncle, you let them go, because we stick to our word in the lot. Anyway, right, so there we go. And I think he likes Mark, because he stood up for his send, didn't he? So Richie will probably not pick on him anymore. And he gives him a little pat on the shoulder and stuff like that. So, right, meanwhile, back in town in the autumnal yellows and golds and browns of Jerusalem's Lot and the excellent cafe, it says there. Here we are, we're seeing Barlow and Straker, fine furnishings and selected antiques, and he's just put a sign up saying that they're opening soon. There he is. And he picks up a like a sack or a bag, a black bag, cloth bag that just happens to have a hole in it the size of an eye. And he looks through it. He says that'll do, and then he looks through it, and as he's looking through the hole, he sees Mark and Danny and Ralphie walking home. He's thinking, ooh, one of those young men. I'll be a fine sacrifice for the master. Does he say that? He does talk like that later. Anyway. Meanwhile, in the library, Ben is on the Microfiche, remember them? No, of course you don't remember them. I do. But the old microfiche. Before the internet, if you wanted to know things, you had to go to the library, get the old newspapers that were out on microfiche and look at them on the big screen like that. So, Batman burping. I need another drink. He's doing his research for his book. He doesn't actually say what his book's about. It just says he's doing research, and it says he's doing his research about himself. So we're not exactly certain. But in the 79 one, he says he's writing a book about the Marston house, doesn't he? But you get the feeling he's writing Salem's Lot, don't you? I think that's what they're trying to say in the other one. But in this one, they don't really make it clear. Anyway, so he's looking through this stuff, and Susan comes in. There she is. She comes in with her mother. That's the librarian. She's the local gossip, and Susan's mother's a bit clingy. Apparently, Susan's dad died about a year earlier. She came home to help look after her dad. He got ill, and then he's passed away. So her mother's a bit clingy, and she wants Susan to go out with I forgot his name. It's not Ned Tebbits in this. It's something else, and I've forgotten. We do see him. Floyd Tibbets. Floyd Tibbets in this. And obviously and Floyd's got his eyes on Susan as well. But she wants to be with Ben, because she says she points him out. He's over there. Ben Mears, the author, doing his research. And then she just basically says loudly, "Tonight I'm going to the drive-in." Anyway, we're learning about his parents were killed in a car accident. Why did they change all the names? I don't know. They changed some of them, didn't they? But not all of them. But I can't remember what they were in the book. They've kept Mike Ryerson, that's the same. But I can't remember in the book if it were Floyd Tibbets and Ned Tibbets, and I don't know why they changed Matthew Burke to Jason Burke in the 79 version. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Why they decide on certain things. Just keep them the same as in the book. Why? I don't know why they do it. Anyway, so this is where she says, "I'm going to the drive-in." She says it loudly. There you go. And I said, "I'm going to the drive-in." And she says it at him. Then we cut to Mark Petrie's house. He's playing a horror record on his record player, with his pictures of Dracula and Frankenstein. I know it's the monster and some sort of ghoul. And there's his Dracula pictures, diorama. And there's a bit of Frankenstein's monster getting the Phantom of the Opera. Now we see Ralph is looking at his graveyard, Mark's graveyard. This cross will come into effect in a little bit, but you notice in the background we get a better look at this poster for TOYG. Cool film. Anyway, so this is where he's talking about standing up against Richie Bodin. He says if he didn't stand up to him, he'd carry on bullying him. So it's best to stand up to him. And he's saying, well, his brother's got, he might get his brother to beat you up. He says, well, I'll stand up to him as well. Anyway, so they decide they're going to go home now because it's getting dark. They're not messing about, are they, in this? But off they go. Do we see the TOYG post? Well, should we see the TOYG post? Never mind. He gives Ralphie a harmonica for some reason. Because he says, if you get scared, you blow on it and it helps with your breathing to calm you down. He says, it's a trick you learn from Houdini. He's got a Houdini poster there. He said he helped it to help with his lungs or something. I don't know. So he's given him a harmonica. And really the only reason is there for a spooky bit later on. But anyway. There we go. Tell them all about Houdini. And there he is with the harmonica. Right. So they're going to the drive-in. $1.75 a person. 7 p.m. the drowning pool. PG. 9 p.m. night moves. Rated R. Right, so the whole town's going to the drive-thru. Apparently the whole town, every single person in the town goes to the drive-thru all the time. Apparently. And then we see that, look, the secrete people in the boots of their, sorry, not the boots, the trunks of their cars. We call them a boot. Why? Don't know. In the trunks of their cars. That's a plot point for later. So, anyway, Susan's there she is, and she sees Ben's arrived, and she says, you picked a bad spot. And he says, I wasn't expecting everybody being here. She says, yes, the whole town comes here, every single bloody one of them. And that's his view of the screen. But she says she's got a secret spot. It's not a particularly secret spot, but anyway, where they can go and sit. And she tells him all about the town. And we see the sun setting, and we're going to get here we go. We get a view. There it is, of the sun creeping across the shadow creeping across the ground. Again, but that will be repeated later. Right, the Glick boys are walking home, and Mr. Straker arrives in his old car, offering them a lift. But being clever lads, they say no thanks, and they walk off into the woods, and as he watches them, like a proper PDF file, off they go. Right, now, so she's going to tell them all about the people in the town, because it's a Stephen King story, so everybody in the town, every single person, gets 75 pages of their life story, and that has nothing to do with the rest of the story. Anyway, so there we go. That's Mr. Livingston, I think she said. Zimmerman, Mr. Zimmerman, but he's not with Mrs. Zimmerman. Yeah, that isn't Mrs. Zimmerman. And then you see, this is the secret place where they're watching from, which is right by the projector. Not super secret, is it? There we go in the corner. That's Father Callahan getting drunk, and we also saw Bonnie Sawyer as well somewhere. There we go. Corey Bryant making up for the 10th time. So she's not married to Cullen Sawyer in this. Anyway. Larry Crockett don't get a shotgun in his mouth in this one. I tell you, it's not a patch on the 79 version, is this? Anyway, so this is where she's telling her life story about that she's only working for Larry till she gets a real estate license, and she's going to move to Boston and become a real estate person, and all that stuff. So this tells about her dad dying. She came up, and all that stuff. And she says her mum's scared of her leaving. Anyway, he says he ain't got much of a story and all that. So anyway, then the film starts. Then we see the two boys, the Glick boys, walking. I don't know. Skirt looks like they're skirting the edge of the woods there, doesn't it? But anyway, never mind. It's supposed to be going through the woods. But then we see, as they go, little Ralphie. I think he starts playing on his harmonica, falling back a bit. But then, oh no! Mr. Straker arrives and just grabs him and takes him away. And Danny says, Ralphie, where are you? So I don't know where he's just melted into the woods. So they go calling after him, Ralphie. And then we get Danny's POV, Ralphie's POV. I get mixed up with them. In the sack. He can look through the eye hole like that. And there we go, talking, just doing his, where is it? Hang on. He does his, there we go. The master needs a sacrifice, master. It's Renfield, isn't it? It's Renfield, but not eating bugs. Anyway, before he can begin to transform your town into his image. And straight away we're learning, that is he calling on him Batman? It's super bloody, overdone. There we go. It is I, says it is I. There we go. Where are we? Oh, Master Barlow, Lord of Flies, it is I, Straker, your devoted servant. I have brought you a sacrifice. and all that stuff. And then there's Danny, Ralphie. Oh, for God's sake! All the candles go out for some reason. It happens again as well later on. So he must have either just blows them all out because he's got super breath, or candles just extinguish around Mr. Barlow. Why? Dunno. They just do. And he comes down the stairs. We get glimpses of him. And then Danny screams, and then we get another look at him. Kind of a bit Marilyn Manson, isn't he? But anyway. And then we hear screaming. We hear him screaming as Mr. Barlow basically has blood spraying everywhere. We hear him screaming, and it shows the town, and we can hear the distant screams. Nobody else hears it. We can hear it there, and then it cuts back to there. We can still hear him screaming, and whatever Mr. Barlow's doing, it's making blood spray about everywhere because he gets hit with it like that. So he's not he's a bit of a messy eater, is Mr. Barlow. Messier, I'm guessing, than those he turns, because they did it in the 79 one with Mike Ryerson, the single drop of blood, to do that. But here he's spraying it all over. But anyway. Right, Father Callahan wakes up in the drunk tank. Why does he get drunk? We don't know. We learn that he's losing his faith. Why? We don't know. I don't think it tells us. No idea. But anyway, he's supposed to be like this failed priest. But why? Don't know. As I said, it doesn't go into it in the film. So anyway, off they go. Lets him out, and he says, "Oh, by the way, go and see the Glicks. Their lad's gone missing. They're setting up search parties." And then it cuts to 1 week later, I think. I think it did. Hang on, where are we? Sure it does. Oh, maybe in a minute. I'm sure it said, there we go, 1 week later. There we go. So it's a week since Ralphie Glick went missing, and obviously that's his mother, that's Marjorie Glick, and I presume that's his dad. Don't know. And there's Danny there. But they've still not found him. They say, "Have you found him?" No, they've still not found him. And the sheriff, or whatever, Constable Parkins Gillespie, is going to call off the search because it's not looking good. We see Floyd Tibbets. I think that's Floyd Tibbets. He's not. He doesn't like Ben because he knows that Ben's seeing Susan now. So he's not happy about it. There we go. Go back to New York. So anyway, Matt Burke introduces himself, tells him he liked his books. So that's why he's saying, "Call my publisher." Anyway. Right. To talk about people are looking at Ben funny, and because he's not local, even though he used to be, but obviously he's under suspicion by the people of the town because he's a newcomer. Kid's gone missing, and that's why he's saying, "I'm surprised that Parkins hasn't talked to you yet." He says, "Well, he has actually, and he had an alibi for the night that Ralphie disappeared. He was with Susan." And she arrives. So he says, "Speak of the devil," and she arrives. And anyway, we learn that Danny Glick can't remember anything what happened. But anyway, so here we see. I can't remember her name. Susan's mother. Does she have a first name? I can't really remember. Let's have a look. Susan Norton, Anne Norton, played by Deborah Christopherson. Oh, she's related? No, she's not, spelled differently. She's playing her organ, so to speak. There she is. And Susan arrives home with Ben, and she's looking out, and I think instead of going home, Susan goes with Ben to his lodgings. Remember, no guests. He's forgot that rule already. Anyway, so right, Danny, I do get him mixed up. He's in bed and he hears the sound of a harmonica outside, really quietly, like that. So he goes looking out and doesn't see anything. So he goes out by himself, much like in Evil Dead last night we were watching, when Cheryl just went out by herself. Didn't end well. This ain't going to end well either. Anyway, the seesaw starts working itself. We don't see anything. And then the harmonica drops to the floor. And he picks it up. And there we go, the seesaw does that. And then he goes, looks at it. And then he comes back down. And then somebody, or some whatever, grabs him. And drags him off into the night. The showers. Is he going to showers? Oh, for God's sake. There it goes. Here it goes. What's up? We know the vampires in this can like hover, but can they actually, pick somebody up? They must be able to. So poor Danny's been bitten, it seems, because then he wakes his mother up and says, I don't feel well. And then so they get him in hospital, and this is where we learn he's got pernicious anemia. This is where Alfred Woodard enters from stage left. There she is. Tells his parents that it's pernicious anemia. So we're giving him blood transfusions and all that stuff. So anyway, but they don't say, how come it's come on so suddenly. They don't mention that. Or does it run in the family? No, don't mention any of that. They just do whatever. Anyway, wakes up, there's Danny, and says to his mother, he says he's thirsty, I'm thirsty. So he goes out to the nurse, he wants water. But as she's doing that, he's grabbed the blood bag. Remember, he's having a transfusion, and just starts drinking the blood, and then I think he dies. Then he dies. And they all scream. And then we're at his funeral. They're not messing about, have they? What happens to the vampire then? When somebody dies, they go to a funeral home and they do all the embalming and stuff like that, don't they? So how does that affect the vampire being embalmed? I don't know. Or do they just not bother embalming him? Anyway, so the funeral is beginning. There's Father Callahan taking a nip from his flask. That's Mike Ryerson. Gives him a snifter of it. Anyway, they're all arriving. So get ready for the funeral, and then that's it. Gary Doberman, the director and writer, likes his transitions. We cut from Father Callahan opening his Bible or prayer book or whatever it is to Mike opening his jam sandwich or whatever the hell it is. Peanut butter and jelly, I think, isn't it? Jam. So he's sitting out there eating his sandwich and drinking his Coca-Cola in the old bottle with no label on. I presume it's Coca-Cola. While the funeral happens, and then he falls asleep. And I thought, hang on, I don't know if I can't remember what happens in the book. I keep showing that I've got a book and that I am literate. But in the '79 version, Geoffrey Lewis, who plays Mike Ryerson in that, it says, I fell asleep on Harmony Hill is the name of the cemetery. He had a dog, didn't he? But the dog were called Royal, I think, wasn't it, in the '79 version? But I think Straker killed the dog. So first my dog died, and then he fell asleep on Harmony Hill. But I don't think he just fell asleep. I think he's talking about because he's going to get got here, spoilers, by Danny Glick. I think it's just that. He just can't remember it. He just thinks he fell asleep. But in this, he actually falls asleep and wakes up and it's night time. And thinks, I'd better go and fill in that hole. So off he goes, starts filling it in. There we go. And then he hears Danny inside the coffin, calling for help. So he thinks, I'll help you, I'll let you out. You can hear it like banging and saying, help me, let me out. It's not showing up the subtitles. I'm missing them, aren't I? So, there we go. I'm not dead, I'm alive, help please. So he goes and opens it up, and there we go. He's quite dead. So he thinks, probably thinking, I'm having hallucinations or something. So he closes it back up and carries on filling in the hole. But as he's doing that, for God's sake, as he's doing that, we see, hang on, where are we? We see Danny come out of the hole in a minute. When I find it, he's got out of the hole now. Look, And then as he starts filling it up, for God's sake, do it. Oh, there we go. Saw it then. Look, it comes flying out. Look, it comes flying out. There we go. Just saw it then. You see it there at the top of the screen, floating out of the hole. And then he gets got. Looks around, sees that the thing's empty, the casket's empty, and looks round, and then Danny Glick's gonna come and get him. Ah, scary vampire! There he is, and he falls in the hole. There we go. I prefer the '79 version where Danny's like hypnotising him from inside the casket, and I think that happens in the book. I do seem to remember reading in the book that he could feel the eyes. He knew that Danny had his eyes open in the coffin, even though he couldn't see him, and they were drawing him to it. That's why he jumps in the hole, and then he opens it up and he just sits up and gets him, doesn't it? Anyway, but not in this one. They have a jump scare, and so there we go. Charlie eats. I wonder what that word's going to be. Who's Charlie? I don't know. I bet that was, what's his face, Richie Bowden that wrote that little sod. Anyway, Ben is at the class, because Matt Burke said to Ben, come and see me class, they'd love to see a writer, a real life writer. So they've gone to, he's done a talk, we don't know what they talked about, but then this little girl, who is the daughter apparently of the librarian, says, are you dating Susan Norton? Sorry, Miss Norton. So anyway, but then the class ends and all that. So anyway, that's that. So that's that. Right. Then we cut to, this is Dell's, the local bar. Matt arrives there and he's looking round at all the. It looks, there's a sombre mood, probably because of what's happened to Ralphie Glick and Danny Glick. There's a sombre mood in the air. And he's looking round, and then he sees Mike Ryerson in the corner, kind of breathing weird, and I think like humming a tune. But goes over to him. So this is kind of like what we're in the '79 version, but in that there were Jason Burke and Ben Mears in the bar. And Mike comes stumbling over, doesn't he? But anyway, in this one, he's gone over to talk to him, and we get a glimpse of his spooky eyes. Saying, you don't look good, and he says, I'm not feeling well since the funeral and all that stuff. But anyway, and then he talks about the eyes. He says, I remember the eyes. Says, I'm scared. So he says, well, it's too late to go see the doctor. Come and stay at my house, and I'll take you to see the doctor in the morning. So there we go. Cut to his house, giving him I presume some paracetamols or something. I don't know. It'd be aspirins back then, wouldn't it? But anyway, gives him something, probably to help him sleep, and a glass of water. And so there we go. And he notices the marks on his neck, which I do like this actually. They're not puncture, not little sucker marks like you see usually vampire things, like little scratches, aren't they? But he says, where'd you get those? He says, I don't know. So anyway, so he's like Van Helsing, is Matthew Burke in this. So anyway, he goes and closes the window, and this is where we see his eyes glowing. As he, for God's sake, as he, oh, for Pete's sake, as he lowers the window, as he glows, we see there we go, with his arm comes out, and there you see there we go, he's got glowing eyes, it's scary, it must be a replicant. Then, we cut to Matthew Burke. So why has he got a picture of bats and bat skeletons? And presumably vampire bats and fruit bats. Is he into vampires already? I don't know, because he seems quite content with believing in all this stuff straight away. But anyway, so is he like Van Helsing? I don't know. But then he hears a noise upstairs and outside as well, so he goes to check outside. Puts his pipe down, and as he's looking. He hears a noise upstairs at Mike's window, and just as he looks, we're going to see it. Oh, some feet disappear into the window. Oh no! I better make sure we're still going and not getting into trouble from Warner Brothers. Anyway, no, everything's fine so far. Fingers crossed. Right, where were we? By the way, I did say I'd have put in the title as spoilers, and in the description as well. So he sees that, so he's obviously scared to death. So he runs over to Eva Miller's boarding house, and here she is knocking up Ben. But Ben was knocking up Susan because she knows he's there. She says to him, Matt Burke is downstairs, all agitated. She says, okay, I'll be down in a minute, because he's not all tired. You remember when this bit happened in the David Soul version? He were all bleary-eyed because he just woke up and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it? But no, he's not, because he's been playing Rudy Prod games with Susan Norton, because she says, hello, Susan. And then she goes, hello, Eva. There we go. As we can see, they've been playing naughties. So we'll probably get thrown out now because she said no guests, didn't she? Anyway, right, so they head back to Matt Burke's house, which is very nice, isn't it? It must be well-paid teaching job, must be. Oh, no, that's Eva Miller's. This is Eva Miller's, isn't it? So, yes, they come down, and he says, do you have a cross of any kind or a St. Christopher's medallion? He's like, what are you talking about? He says, I want both of you to come with me. So off they go to Matt's house, and then we see, there we go, obviously he did have a crucifix or a cross or something. He's got a massive bloody wooden cross there. Where did he get that from? Don't know, he just had it, maybe it was in his pocket. But anyway, so they're going to go up, and apparently the power's gone off for some reason. We don't know why, but it's gone off. So they've got torches, flashlights, sorry. So they go in. Mike Ryerson's dead. Single drop of blood. By the way, the scratches have gone. The puncture marks have disappeared. But there's a single drop of blood somewhere. There, we're just going to show now. There we are. So it obviously wasn't Mr. Barlow that did this, because there'd have been blood everywhere, wouldn't there, going by what he did with Ralphie Glick. Anyway, so he says, what do I do? And then he says, let the machinery take over. Phone Parkins Gillespie and, get them all out and just say that you met Mike in the bar and he says he wasn't well, so you brought him home to look after him and all that stuff. And then he died in his sleep, do all that. So, right, so that's what they're going to do. Right, so then we cut to, they do a transition, that's it. We see actually Mike's hand drop to the floor. Then we see somebody pick his hand up, and then when they rise up, the camera went down, and then it comes back up. There we see it's the doctor. It's Alfred Woodard. I can't remember her character's name. I just call her Alfred Woodard. Who does she play? Dr. Cody. There we go. She's saying, well, he's dead. So anyway, Matt says, is it pernicious anemia? What did the Glick boy die of? He says, they're all saying, why? What's that got to do with this? Nothing. And then she notices that he's got his cross in his hand. But anyway, so they go on, just leave it as it is, Anyway, right. So where are we here now? The Petrie House. Here's Mark. There's his graveyard diorama. Anyway, there's his Trog poster. Cool film, is Trog. Joan Crawford, and reused facial, ape man effects, reused from 2001, it seems. But anyway, right. So there he is. There's Danny Glick outside his window, looking spooky, and we've seen it blurry because Mark's woke up and he hasn't got his glasses on, so we've seen it blurry. And then when he puts his glasses on, he's gone. Look, so he goes and shuts the blinds, but then he just goes to another window. There we go. He looks round. There he is at the other window, and he does hypnotise him. He says, "Come, open it, and let me in," and all that stuff. There he is. This is a well done scene, I must admit, but it's still not as scary as in the 79 version, I don't think. And there you go, see, hypnotising makes their eyes go white. Why? Don't know. It's vampires, whatever. So he opens the door up and lets him in, and he comes floating in. There we go. There we go. But As he approaches, there we go, the cross in the graveyard starts to glow. The crosses in this that glow for some reason. Why? Don't know. They just do. Maybe it's like in the fog. Hang on, have I got it here somewhere? Where have I put it? Not that one. Maybe it's. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Maybe it's like in the fog when the cross glows, when Rob Bottin grabs it as the leper, zombie, ghost, pirate, whatever. Or not. But anyway. So it starts glowing. There we go. And so he picks it up and he presses it against his cheek and he goes flying out the window in like a mist. Look, off he goes. So he's like, oh, crikey. And then he says, I will save you, Danny, I promise. And bad acting. And then he's going to get his rules. Vampires rules. And for some reason his S has got, I don't know. But anyway. So for his rules, he's going to look in comic books. You think this kid that's really into horror stuff would have more than comic books to, for reference materials. But anyway, he hasn't. He's looking in his comic books. So, that's it. Crosses, holy water, crosses but only. I presume it says if you have faith, but anyway. And all that stuff. This is where he learns that Straker's the human servant and the head vampire is Barlow. Because he says, I forgot to mention it, Danny says, Mr. Barlow wants to meet you. Because the vampires are just doxing Mr. Barlow straight away. But anyway. Right, so... back at what's-his-face's house. Matt Burke's back at his house. And Matt Burke there doing his research, look, on bats. And then, he turns round, hears a noise, turns round. And in the 79 version, it was super cool and spooky. He could hear a noise. And it turned out he went upstairs and it was in the bedroom. And it was Mike Ryerson in a rocking chair, with his scary eyes and his vampire teeth going, look at me, teacher, being all scary in this. He just turns around and he's there. He's there, and he knocks him about a bit. There we go. But he gets his he's got a big crucifix as well, a big cross. Maybe it's the one that, it must be the one that Ben had. But that's glowing as well, look, that's glowing as well. So, that's it, it must be a... the fog thing. It must be. Anyway, see, that repels him, throws him into the wall, and then he goes out the room and he goes chasing after him, and then they have a bit of another fight. Here we go. A bit of the fight. Drops the cross, picks it up again, falls down the stairs. He's fine, but maybe he's coming. Look, he's coming with his scary eyes. But he picks up and he's hypnotising him. Look, his eyes turn white, but when he picks up the cross, his eyes go back to normal, and he goes, there, I revoke my invitation, and he goes, forces him, there we go, out the door. So he's safe, and then I think the cross stops glowing, and if in the 79 when he has a heart attack, doesn't he, and he can't get to his pills, but I think in this he's just like knocked out or concussed or something like that. Right, so Dr. Cody's at hospital, and this is where we learn from this nurse that Marjorie Glick's died, and she's in the mortuary in somewhere in Cumberland or somewhere. This is why didn't they take her to the place in town? And apparently, whoever runs that, Mr. Foreman or something like that, they can't get in touch with him. So I'm guessing he's become a vampire. And then she says, is Mike Ryerson's body still downstairs? And she says, yeah, not unless he got up and walked away. Oh, for God's sake, there we go. He got up and walked away, as we know, because he went to visit Matthew Burke, didn't he? And then she says, this is some shit, which it is. So she goes to see Matthew Burke. She goes in. There we go. She goes in, sees everything all over the place. There we go, he's got a cut on his head, but he's fine. And goes, tells him what's going on. This is his research. Look, the classic myths in English literature, vampires. What else we got? The Old Wives' Tale by Arnold somebody or other. What else we got? Oh, I forgot. Kidnapped. Oh, that's Robert Louis Stevenson. Kidnapped. That's not a vampire story, is it? I don't think it is. Maybe that was the only old book they could find, and they're thinking nobody'll check. Anyway, and then Ben's arrived. Looks, he must have phoned him. I think Susan's there as well. So they're having a meeting about what to do next. Alright, he's talking about stuff that you need to ward off a vampire and like garlic, and he says white roses. He says, what do you need white roses for? And he says, because they ward off vampires, apparently. I don't know. But he said he phoned the florist in Cumberland or whatever, the nearest town, and to ask about white roses, and she said they'd sold out. Some well-dressed man bought them all up, and so they said, that'll have been Straker. So anyway, what they're going to do, they're going to go over. At first, he wants to exhume Danny Glick. Yes, because they never found Ralph. He says we should exhume Danny Glick and see what see if he's still there in his grave. And he says we can't do that. So the Dr. Cody, says we could just go over to the mortuary in the other town and wait till night and see what happens with Marjorie Glick. So they're going to do that. But Matthew says, you three go. I've got to do some more research with his pipe there. He says, I need to know more about Straker and Barlow. So basically he's going to go to the Marston house. That's what he's going to do. So anyway, Matthew looks at, is Matthew, by the way, and he sees Mr. Straker dancing with Susan's mother, because we learn that she's going to become one of the servants of Barlow, but not a vampire. Right, so there he's looking up at the house, so off he goes. I wonder if it's a real house, if it's CG, I don't know, but anyway, I don't know. So off he goes. I think he's going to have a look. He knows what's happening. There you go, he has a look over his shoulder. But Mark's going as well, Mark Petrie. So he's going in. In he goes, going to kill Straker. No, Barlow. So in he goes into the cellar. But then Matt arrives, and he says, you should get out now. He says, they're vampires, and Matt says, I know they are. So anyway, but they can't get out the cellar because Straker locks them in with the padlock. And then they don't, they've got to find another way out. So he lights this candle. Don't like that one. Just lights one. I thought, you've got your match there. Light both. Double the candle power. But no, it just lights one. Anyway, so they're going looking for the way out. And they find the door, the steps. But the steps have been taken away. So he's going to boost up Mark. But the door's locked. But, oh, there we go. Somebody's awakened. Terrible, isn't it? Not a tenth as good as the proper Kurt Barlow. That one. That's a million times more scary, isn't it, than that. Anyway, I do like this backstory where he grabs he turns on the light, because we'd seen it earlier on. The light is on one of these little lights with a cord. And he just grabs it, there we go, smashes the light and gets Matt. So Matthew Burke's dead now, or turned into a vampire. And hang on, and also there we go. Mark gets grabbed by Straker. Oh no, that's Mark, isn't it? Yeah, I was going to say Straker's wearing glasses, but that's Mark with his glasses on. Gets grabbed by Straker. Right, we're at the mortuary now. Waiting for the sun to go down, and that's the sun going down in visual form. By the way, everybody seems to do everything in this film at golden hour, just before sundown. Don't do anything else for the rest of the day. It's either night time or golden hour. Anyway, there's Marjorie Glick on the slab. So they're just waiting to see what she does. But Dr. Cody doesn't believe, it's going to happen. But says, well, what we're going to do to protect herself? They go, what if she does rise? And there you go, she's going to get the tongue depressors, like we saw in the proper version. Not that one. Where is it? Not that one. See, that's scarier, isn't it? But what we saw earlier on with this is this is Ralphie getting Danny Glick, isn't it? That's proper scary. But anyway, there he is with tongue depressors. David Soul actually looking scared. They don't really look scared in this. They're just acting out an action scene. But in the 79 one, David Soul was crapping himself, it seemed. But anyway, so she grabs the tongue depressor, then Marjorie's slipper falls off. So she's going to wake up and all like, oh no, it's all true. So she's waking up. She says, Danny, where are you? So she sits up. But then, she's holding the cross, the two tongue depressors, and she says, nothing's happening. How do they know something's going to happen? Did Matthew tell them that the crucifix glowed? I don't know, because it didn't. I don't think we saw that. I don't think we saw him tell him that the crucifix will glow. You'll know it's working. But anyway, then we've got to tape it to bind it. Is it Lord of the Rings? And in the darkness, bind it. But anyway, there we go. We need to bind the cross. It's in a bag. Anyway, meanwhile, Marjorie's waking up. So they're doing that. And she's going to get, what's her face? Dr. Cody in a minute. There we go. So as soon as they wrap the tape round, the cross starts glowing. There you go. And they're blessing it. The Lord is my shepherd. There it is, glowing away. And then it breaks. It does. They hold it up and then it breaks because they're rubbish. Not good at crafts, it seems. Arts and crafts. So Marjorie just decides, I'm going to get Dr. Cody. And this is quite a good scene. I actually like this bit. And because Dr. Cody, that's a good shot, isn't it? That's a good wallpaper, is that? Dr. Cody grabs a scalpel off the floor. A scalpel fell to the floor. She grabbed that. And she's stabbing her in the head, in the face. She said, there's no blood. Here we go. And so she's stabbing her in the face, and nothing's happening. Because, she's dead. There's no blood. And this is where she's saying, your circle, the master will get you. Your circle is getting smaller and all that. So that's where they learned that Matthew Burke's one of them. But anyway, they get her with a crucifix, and there we go. Burn her with it, and she just evaporates. There we go. Much like in the 79 when she just faded out in that, but in this one, I was hoping she'd explode or something, but she don't. She just the shroud or whatever you want to call it, just goes, just whips away, and then she disappeared, turned to smoke. Anyway, but before that, she bit Dr. Cody on the neck. So Dr. Cody's got to sort herself out now. She says, get my bag. So they get a bag, and she gets a jar of something. I presume it's like iodine or something, antiseptic, and just pours that on her neck. And then she has a rabies shot as well. So she gives herself a rabies shot, and it works. It stops her being a vampire. So who knew? I think is it iodine or something like that. It doesn't say. It looks like it shows us what's on the bottle. She just grabs it out of the bag and it doesn't show us. It's probably iodine or whatever, or maybe alcohol. I don't know, but anyway. So anyway, it works. You can cure yourself of vampirism with a rabies shot if you're fast enough. So anyway, Dr. Cody's okay. You see, the crucifix isn't glowing, so she's not turning into a vampire. So she's fine. Pardon me. Right. Anyway, what's next? Back at Matt's house. They don't know what's happened to him yet. They've arrived back. And I think they see vampires on his roof. So we can't go there. There we go. There's vampires on his roof. It looks like it's Mike Ryerson and Danny Glick, isn't it, watching them? So, right. So where are they going to go? I can't remember. Oh, yes. I think they decide that Susan and Ben, are going to go to Susan's house and check on her mother, and she's going to go talk to the sheriff and all that, or Constable Parkins Gillespie. It's the past, so probably mercurochrome. Oh, I don't bloody know. I don't know. But the rabies shot were the I think that was the thing that saved her. Right, next day she's going to go and there we see Christine's got this fella because he's not moving. We see Mark is tied up, he's upside down, but uses his escapology skills to get away. Here he comes. Rise and shine, young master. This is how he talks. I'm going to play it. I don't care if I get a copyright strike. Rise and shine, young master. Rise and shine, young master. He thinks he's Tom Waite from the 92 Dracula. Anyway, so he's coming up to get him. There we go. He's got a reflection. We see he's not a vampire. So he comes up, but Mark's got free and he's got something in his hand. I don't know what it is, like a poker or a golf club or something. And he basically just brains Mr. Straker, which is a bit crap, innit? Here we go. Turns him round, just give him a good old whack. I don't know what he's using. What's he got? Does it show us what he picks up? I don't know, but it's something, like a poker or something like that, and knocks him down and just finishes him off. Is he going to show it? It's a golf club, isn't it? It's a golf club, I think. That's it. That's Mr. Straker done for. So he's dead. At least James Mason put up a bit of a fight, didn't he? Killed the doctor, impaled him on them horns, didn't he? And then took several bullets to bring him down, but no, in this one, he gets killed by an 11 3/4-year-old kid. They've gone to the church, that's it. Oh, right. For some reason, Father Callahan's reading Dracula. Don't know why, just is. She's there. They've gone, for help. Maybe they've said, read this is what's happening. I don't know. They're trying to get him on board, and, he says, fine, I'll help. Then Mark arrives. Why? He's come for supplies. That's why he's arrived. He's come for some holy water. This is where he tells them that he's killed Straker. And they're like, oh, right, fair enough. So anyway, what they're going to do? Yes, they're all going to go to the Marston house now. So in they go. I can't remember what happens here. I've got to be honest. This film, although it's not a terrible film, I was picking my phone up quite a bit, to be completely honest. But anyway, so they've arrived at the Marston house. Doesn't look not as decrepit as the one in the '79 version that had all like stuff falling. It probably wasn't good for the actors, whatever it was that were falling down. They were breathing it in. But anyway, they hear a noise upstairs. He says, where is Straker? And Mark points upstairs. That's where he was being held. That's where he brained him upstairs. And Father Callahan doesn't want to go, so she says, because I'm the doctor, I'll go. But she doesn't. Why? Because this door opens by itself. I can't remember why. I think it's the door to the cellar, I think they look down. Yes, there's no stairs. So why did that door open? Don't know. Maybe it was the ghost of Hubie Marston. Who knows? Get your stakes and crosses ready. So anyway, down they go. They get a ladder. So there's a ladder outside, so they'll go and get a ladder. So next we see they're in the cellar. Then what happens? Can't remember. Grabs a stake. What's happening? Matthew Burke's there. Of course he's there, because that's where they were changed. So he pops out. And there we go, to have a quick bite, and he stabs him, but misses. I missed him. He stabbed him, but I got him in the heart. Anyway, was that somebody else? Anyway, whatever. Is that the same actor? Is that the stuntman? Don't know. All Americans look the same to me. There we go. Barlow's coming for you. I said they're all. Every vampire keeps going on about how Mr. Barlow's the dog's bollocks. But anyway. So he grabs hold of, that what it is, we missed a bit now. He grabs hold of Ben, but then Ben pulls something down and the sunlight makes him catch on fire. So he retreats into the shadows, and then he stakes him, and then he finishes him off. There we go, like that, and so that's the end. But they don't do they should do like a Buffy thing where they just like turn to dust, but they don't. Anyway, right. So Mark's got to go save his parents, and Father Callahan's going to go with him, and this is where they're going to go to her house to check on her mother. I think that's what they're going to do. And they go, make sure we're all at the church by sundown. And obviously they don't, because they're idiots. As I said, it's all happening at magic hour. Like I say, it must be like nearly sundown now. What they're doing for the rest of the day, I have no idea. But anyway. It's where we're seeing lots of newspapers. So, as I said, the newspaper boy, the milkman. I've missed. I think the postman were first. There we go. The postman, the newspaper boy, and the milkman were the last to be got. It seems. Rest of the town are vampires. Maybe they're from out of town. I don't know. She's gone to see Parkins Gillespie, but he's packing up. He's not being turned for some reason. He's off. He's leaving. He's heading out of town. So that's all he's saying. This town's dead. I'm going. See ya. You're giving up. Damn right I am. So off he goes. Ben and Susan arrive at Susan's house, and mother comes down. I have the most wonderful news. I met this man. Basically, she's become Barlow's new. He hasn't wasted any time. She's become Barlow's new servant to replace Straker. But first she says, "Get him out of here," because she doesn't like Ben. So he goes to wait outside. But then a vampire, I think it's Floyd Tibbets, takes a bite out of Susan. Here he is. Floyd Tibbets appears and bites Susan, and Ben obviously rushes to her aid and grabs her, and there we go. He gets burnt by the sun and drags Susan out. She's saying she gets a shotgun out. There's Ann Norton. Here she goes. There we go. She's got a shotgun out, or rifle, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not a gun person. She should have a harpoon, shouldn't she? But anyway, then we cut to Mark Peatrie's house. This is the kitchen scene, where they're trying to explain to Mark's parents what's going on, but obviously they don't believe him. But then Mr. Barlow's gonna arrive. There we go. The cross is glowing. There's a knock at the door. He goes to answer the door. Obviously, shouldn't have done that. They tell him not to, but he don't believe them. There we go. Mr. Barlow's arrived, and he's speaking. He says something. There we go. He bites Mark's mother. Tells him to get back, spawn of Satan. It doesn't say that, but he should have done. But I think the cross goes out. They go, I command you to leave. It looks rubbish. It doesn't look good, does it? The cross stops glowing. It tells Mark to run, so Mark runs out. Then the cross goes out, and he says, it's sad for a priest to lose his faith, or whatever. There we go. To see a man's faith fail, and then he gets Father Callahan. I think we just hear him scream. We don't see him get got. We just hear him scream. I think in the book, he doesn't die. I don't think we know what happens to him. I can't remember, but he did turn up apparently in the Dark Tower, so he's not a vampire. So maybe he just ran away. Anyway, Mark's running away to his treehouse. So apparently he's new in town, but he's not that new that he's got a bloody treehouse built. But anyway, unless he were there already. But this must class as Mark's house, because he gets surrounded by vampires. They don't get him because he hasn't invited them in. So apparently so you could you get in a box and say, this is my box, you're not getting in, much like Tom Paris did in that film Infested. You've just got to see it. It's hilarious. Anyway, right, so here we go. There you go. You can see the glowing eyes. Look out there. Play with us, Mark. Let us in, etc. and all that jazz. So he's shutting the shutters that luckily he's got. Danny Glick is climbing up the ladder to get to, so he stabs him. There's a little spray of blood there. Stabs him with that. So is Danny Glick dead now? I don't know, but anyway. So he's sitting there now. There you go. All the vampires are in the trees, waiting for him to come out or invite them in. Whatever comes first. Right, so this is Ben and Susan. Ben's got Susan. Remember, Susan's been bitten by Floyd Tibbet, so he's heading to the church, and he goes running in. There we go. Oh, the cross is glowing because Susan's becoming a vampire. It's too late. He's telling the doctor to get the shot, to give her the shot that'll cure her, but she says it's too late. And she's reacting to being on holy ground. She's freaking out, going, so she's going to turn into a vampire. There we go. She's turned into a vampire, look. And she scratches him and all that stuff. And I think she goes running out or whatever. There she is. Off she goes. So he goes running out after her, but then he sees all the vampires watching from the rooftops in a minute. If I land on it. There we go, one of them there. Oh, there's Mike Ryerson. So he goes running back. And he says, come on, quick. And but Mike Ryerson grabs him. Hang on, let's show it. Grabs him before he gets to the church door. But luckily he had a stake in his hand. There we go. So he staked Mike Ryerson. So Mike Ryerson is freed. He is now going to heaven or whatever. Anyway, they get in the church. There we go. Glowing crosses again. Doesn't happen in the book. I checked. I thought, I'm going to check. Is it crosses glow in the book? I couldn't find it. Anyway. Right, so there you go. She's saying Susan's mother's Barlow's new servant, and then I think he asks about what about Parkins Gillespie? What's he doing? And then we find out there he is. They just throw him, throw him through the window. Why? I've no idea. Why didn't they just turn him? But they've killed Parkins Gillespie and thrown him through the window. He's all got blood coming out of his neck. Why didn't they just turn him into a vampire like everybody else? God knows, because they wanted to make a statement. Pardon me, sorry I'm burping. Oh dear. Right, there we see the town's deserted now. You see, earlier on at the beginning of the film, we saw it was a bustling, lively, New England town, and now it's all deserted and empty. But yet all the lights are still on and the telly's still on and all that stuff. So, got to decide. They're wondering, where has everybody gone? I think Mark comes out of his hidey hole. Mark's come out. They've gone to Mark's house, and they find that Mark's parents, and presumably Father Callahan as well, they're being covered up. So Mark's been there. He's left a note. He says, I'm going to kill Barlow. There you go, that's his note. And he's covered up the dead bodies. And there's this is Mark breaking into the shop. And I don't know why. I can't remember why, but he's breaking into the shop for some reason. And he cuts his hand. And he leaves a blood trail. Like that. So a vampire can follow him. But I can't remember why he's gone into this shop. Let's have a look, shall we? And see. But in he goes. Oh, right, there's... so he didn't kill Danny Glick, because Danny Glick's there, look. Coming to get him, and then he stakes Danny Glick, and so he says, I said I'd help you, Danny, and now I have, and now you're dead. So there we go. But why did he go to the shop? I don't know, because he just comes out again. They wanted the scene in the shop, I suppose, but anyway. Right, so they've arrived, and so are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I've just killed another vampire, whatever. So they're wondering, where could everybody have gone? There you go. He's checked everywhere, so maybe that's why. Maybe it was just the last place he went. I don't know, but he can't find anybody. I've checked most everywhere, he says. So I said, where's everybody gone? Where does everybody in the town go? They've gone to the DriveThru. Not DriveThru. bloody McDonald's. I'm hungry, alright. Gone to the drive-in movies. So that's where they're going to go. You know, at golden hour, as I said, everything happens at just before sunset in this film, or night time. So, there you go. They're arriving. So all the vampires are in the trunks of their cars. And in the book, they were all in their basements and stuff, weren't they? All just dark places. I think it describes it in the book. It's all coming back to me. That, you know, they've all hidden away in the dark places of Salem's Lot. But anyway, in this one, they're at the drive-in, in the trunks of their cars. So, they've got to, I don't know, kill them all somehow. I don't know how, what they're going to do. But anyway, there you go. See Susan, she's there, look, all asleep, curled up in the trunk of the car. Right, so it says you've got to kill her, but he can't do it. Yes. And then Susan's mother arrives, blasting at them with her shotgun. So they all go running for cover, and there you go, she's shooting. But the sun's going down, look, really, really quickly. There you go, the shadow that we saw earlier on. Make sure we're still going. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Right. What have I done here? I've done something. Not supposed to see David's soul. What's he doing there? Anyway, the sun's going down, and so it's covering, the shadows going over, so all the vampires are waking up, instantly as soon as the sun goes down. So they all start coming out and attacking Ben. So Mark has an idea. There's Ben fighting away. Mark has an idea. He sees the sun's gone behind the big screen, so we've got to find a way to get rid of that screen. Luckily, they say, Mark, run. Luckily, Mark can drive a car. At 11 3/4. Off he goes. He drives this car. There he goes. In a minute. There we go. And he's knocking down all the posts for the big screen thing. So the screen comes falling down. I presume it's going to splatter these. Does it show us? I can't remember. Does it show us? I don't know. Down it comes. Probably CG. It looks okay. Yeah, splatter some of them. And then the sun gets all the others and all just instantly burst into flames, look. And he's like, why am I not burning as well? Or does it only work on vampires? Is this sort of fire only work on vampires? But anyway. So there he is, look, he's fine. Not even scorched or anything. So all them vampires are now dead. But Mrs. Norton, she's not a vampire, so she carries on shooting at him. He does a Starsky and Hutch style thing. Is that an homage to David's soul? Although it were more I forgot his name now. The other fella. I forgot his name now. Starsky. Paul Michael Glaser. It was Paul Michael Glaser that slid across the bonnet, wasn't it? I think. Diddly 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 ding 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 ding. Anyway, whatever. Used to love Starsky and Hutch when I was a kid. Anyway, so he's out the way. But then Mark arrives, still in his car. That car is just runs her over. Killed her, I presume, because we see big, massive blood stain on the hood of the car, or the bonnet, as we call it. So I presume he's killed her. So, he's a murderer. He's, at 11 3/4. I know that I keep saying that because that's what he says his age is. He says, I'm 11 3/4. Anyway, so they've got to find Barlow. The sun's almost down. They've got to find Barlow. They've killed off everybody else, it seems. They've got to find somewhere big enough for his coffin, because he's got to have his big coffin with earth in it or whatever. But then he looks and he sees the Royal Snow's truck. So obviously they must have put the coffin back in there. So they open it up and there it is. And he's going to get in his mark. Says, wait, hold on, shadows. They've got to pull it out into the sunlight. So that's what they do. But they can't get it open. It won't open up. I think it's probably designed so it can only be opened from the inside, I presume. But they can't get it open. He gets a crowbar, tries opening it up, but it's not working. There he goes, getting a crowbar there. And the sun's going down, and so they're running out of time. So basically they go running off into that building there. And But little does he know, hang on, little does he know that Susan's in there. She got to cover, it seems, before the sun got her. So I said, we see him fighting there, and then Mark gets thrown through a plate glass window. He's fine, don't worry about it. But Susan's attacking him, and he's going, Susan, it's me, let go, it's Ben, and she kind of softens a bit for a moment, but not for too long. So anyway, he's fighting her off. He smashes into that panel, which starts everything going at the drive-in. There we go. And there's Barlow, looking like, as I said, it looks like bloody Marilyn Manson, doesn't he? Just standing there, looking. In the projector light. Anyway, so as he starts, he's chasing Mark across the drive-in. Ben's still fighting Susan. There you go. He stops. She tries to get him, but he's holding her back with a chair, as though she's one of them lions, like in a whatever, at the circus. But he gets her. He stakes her. That's it. I think he uses one of the chair legs. He breaks the chair, and here it is. There he goes. Breaks the chair. He uses one of the chair legs and stakes her. There we go. And I think as you're watching, I think her teeth start, retracting. I'm sure they do. If you could see from my bloody mouse pointer, I think they do. Yeah, they do a little bit. I think they do a little bit, unless I just imagined it. Anyway, so Susan's dead. She's no Bonnie Bedelia, is she? I mean, Bonnie Bedelia was a good Susan, especially as a vampire. Blimey. I'd have just succumbed. I would have succumbed to her vampire wiles instantly. Anyway, right, so, what's his face? Barlow's after Mark. So he's chasing him through all the cars and stuff, because he's a monster. Oh, they're putting all the lights on. There we go. Chasing him, just grabbing at him, because he's not, he's just a monster. He's not, even though he speaks a little bit in this. Anyway, there he's still trying to grab him. But there you go. He grabs hold of Mark there, but he's going to get his comeuppance. There you go, Ben, and then there we go. He's going to get staked through the head, as you can see. There we go. But that's not enough to finish him off. Even though he's got a big, massive hole in his head, but obviously, that won't kill a vampire. So he pulls him out and then finishes him off. There you go. He stakes him. Is that through his heart, or is that through his? I don't know. That under his heart, isn't it? I don't know. It must be, because it kills him. And he looks rubbish. I'm sorry. He's no Reginald. I forgot the name of the actor that played him in the 79 one. He and Tim is it. Like I say, it looks like Marilyn Manson to me. But anyway, so that's the end of Mr. Barlow, and it's nearly the end of the bloody film. It bloody is. The drive out, there we go, the stop, the sun's gone down, and Mark says, did we kill all of them? And he goes, yeah. So right, what next? We make our escape. We make our escape. He gets, there we go, I was going to show it here. One of Mark's playing cards, his Houdini playing cards. There we go, best magician ever. For God's sake. It says, we make our escape. He gets a Houdini playing card. And then we cut to the music on the radio. Basically, they just drive out. They drive out of Salem's Lot. There we go. Come again. And that's it. That's the bloody end. And I was thinking, well, is that it then? They have killed all the vampires, because even the book ends a bit ambiguously, where essentially they're going to get chased by the vampires, because they do in the book, don't they? They do get chased by the vampires. But in this one, they're all dead. And I was hoping to see, glowing eyes appear, somewhere. But no. It ends like that. So, that was a bit poo. I'm going to check. I don't think there is a thing at the end. Don't think there is. No, it's just going to end. There we go. Salem's Lot. There's no end credits. There's no... There we go. Atomic Monster, that's it. That's it. That's the end. They beat the vampires because, can't have ambiguous endings nowadays, can you? Anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of Salem's Lot 2022 or 2024, whatever you want to call it. It's not a terrible film. That's the thing about it. It's not rubbish. It's quite, it's quite a fun watch. But it's not a patch on the 79 version. I don't know about the one with Rutger Hauer in, because I don't think I've seen that one. I might have seen bits of it, but I don't think I've sat and watched it. But I've heard that's not very good. And it's not a tenth as good as the David Soul version. It isn't. It's just nowhere near as good. But anyway. So I wouldn't go see it at the cinema. And I said I'd wait for it to come on to streaming in the UK. It'll come on streaming soon, I imagine. Just wait for that. If you feel the need to watch it, but as I said, it's not terrible, but it's not really that good either. And that's about it. That's my review. It could have been better. It should have been better. But there were good bits in it. I did like the mortuary scene with Marjorie Glick. That were quite well done. Although they didn't seem scared enough to me. Not like David Soul was scared. And they would go, Bill, she's coming back to life. But and the ending, it was a rubbish ending at the. Why do the ending at the drive-in? Why not do the ending at the Marston house like it is in the book? But I don't know. But just wanted a big action-packed climax, didn't there, with lots of cars. Anyway, at a drive-in. Don't know. Wingray says, time to do your own remake for mid-2025. Don't need it. Stick with the 1979 version. The full 3-hour version, not the. They did like a cut-down version, which I've not seen. There's like a movie-length version of the 1979 one with a bit more violence in it, apparently, a bit more gore. But I've not seen that. So I can't comment on that. But the 3-hour version, the 2-part miniseries, is the best TV horror I have ever seen. And I don't think it'll be beaten, to be completely honest. But as far as vampires go. Anyway, right, so that's it. That's Salem's Lot 2024. Not terrible, but not particularly good. And to be honest, I was a bit bored at times. Even though it moved at a fair old clip, I was picking my phone up. But what can I say? Let's say if you're in the UK, it's in the cinemas from the 11th of October. And I presume it'll appear on streaming pretty soon after. But it's on HBO, innit? So we don't have Max over here, unless you get like a VPN or find other ways to access it. Unless it'll be on the Sky Atlantic and Now TV show HBO Max stuff over here, so you might have to watch it through them. Or it might appear on Amazon. I don't know. It might appear on Amazon Prime, maybe to buy or rent. I don't know, but anyway. So there we go. Right, we'll leave it there. We're done. I'm hungry. I want something to eat now. I'm going to have a pot noodle or something. But we'll leave it there. So anyway, so what's coming up next? Right, I will tell you what's coming up next. Hang on, bear with me. I've got lots of discs here now. Tomorrow, not tomorrow. On Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, I'm thinking it was Sunday today. It's Saturday, isn't it? On Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, we're doing The Core with... I can never remember her bloody name. What do they call her? And the other fella. Which is a fun film. So that's on Monday. Then next Friday's appointment with Fear, I've decided we're sticking with vampires, actually. We're sticking with vampires for next Friday's appointment with Fear. We're doing Let Me In, the remake of Let the Right One In. I might do Let the Right One In another, extra. We'll see. But that's next Friday. Let Me In, which is a decent film, a decent remake of Let the Right One In. Right. Then what? Then next, not this Monday, but the Monday after, Ghostbusters, the first one, and then the week after that, the Clifton House Mystery. I think you can find this on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's really spooky. if a bit posh, because it's like 1970s British children's television, so everybody speaks terribly poshly. And then the week after that, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. I'm doing a spooky, Magnificent Mondays for October, for spooky season. Right, so that's what's happening there. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks, Win Grace and Adrian James for popping in, keeping me company while I spoil a brand new film. Will I get into trouble for it? I don't know. I might do. We'll see. See what happens, eh? If I get copyright strike, just delete the bugger. Or we'll see. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. By the way, don't forget to... I'll put this back up. There we go. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell, send me a super thanks, a super chat, whatever, because, as I said, StreamYards are putting the prices up. I'm seriously contemplating dropping StreamYards, thinking about it. But anyway, we'll see. What else? And all that stuff. Whatever, I can't remember. Patreon, merch, etc. Right. Memberships. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, thank you. Take care. And you take care too, Win Grace. Right, so... Is that it? We're done. Yes. Thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares. And wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say the...